Hey guys, don't forget to check out our local sponsors, Amigos Portsmouth. They're open noon till 10 p.m, delivering some of the most favourite Mexican feasts that are available.
So if you hit this link here and use the code NJB, you'll get 20% off. Cheers.
Cheers.
Hi guys, welcome to Not Just Boxing podcast number 8. We're here, just me and Terry today, no special guests. How you doing, Terry?
We are special guests.
We are always the
We're special guests. Yeah, I'm doing good, thank you, mate. Yeah, no, really good. Really eventful week of boxing.
Yeah.
And we've got an eventful week coming up as well, right?
Yeah,
So
stacked.
we've got loads to talk about. I think there's no better place to start than the Conlan Wood fight.
Yep.
What a fight.
Oh, well, mate, my heart rate, I've got this Fitbit here. I was laying down, my heart rate got to like 110. Yeah, what a fight. It was just everything you can imagine in a thriller, you know, like for Lee Wood, after the first round, to look like he was out cold.
Yeah,
like,
he looked flat out, didn't he?
He was lights out.
Yeah, it was like a Tyson Fury moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly that. And then all of a sudden, the second round, Conlan didn't put him away. We'll talk about that in a bit, but maybe the game plan, he should have put it on him. You never know if you're trying to go the distance. But yeah, what a load of just ups and downs, twists and turns. I think they both boxed amazingly. I think Conlan was obviously winning the fight the whole way through. Wood needed the knockout. And it was just a freakish knockout in the last round. Just, yeah, for Lee Wood to pull that off after, you know, his legs were gone. You know, for him to come back and get that second win, it just shows the class in what we saw on the night, which hats off to him. Obviously Conlan, you see his style of boxing, you can tell he's an Olympian, you can tell he's been a very good amateur. His style is so good to watch, but obviously the experience of Lee Wood really did show in the later rounds.
I think that's what's shown. That's what's shown in front. But I think overall, I think we have to give credit to both boxers. Both warriors, both put it all on the line. And they showed tremendous heart not to give up. They didn't want to give an inch during that fight. They were fighting for so much. You know, for them, the world title was everything. They fought, you know, you had the Irish fan come down, you had the Nottingham fans there as well. The atmosphere would have been crazy in there. And it sounded crazy, right?
Yeah.
But you're right, after that first round, where Conlan's caught with a beauty, like the whole fight, he was catching him with that from his southpaw, overhand looping shot. And Woodland had no answer for it. Or Wood had no answer for it. It just kept getting caught. But you noticed as the fight was going on, he was getting numb to it. It seemed like he was getting numb to it.
And also Conlan, he kept trying to land it, which obviously when he got more tired, when you saw in the middle rounds, he wasn't landing it as much. And, you know, throwing a shot like that, you need to be precise.
I think he was mixing it up. So if you see it, the fight, so he was throwing it, but then eventually he started throwing to the body, and then he was coming up to the top.
The body work of Conlan, mate, it was unbelievable. And for Wood as well to come back, you saw at one point as well, not only did Wood's legs go, but later on you saw he got caught with a body shot. You could see all the energy was zapped out of him.
Round 10 that was.
And then he put it back on Conlan. He showed that heart. For someone, I don't know if anyone is listening has experienced a body shot, you know, most people just take a knee. Yeah. He put it on him after. He's warrior, both of them. Yeah. Warriors. Fight of the year, maybe, you know, one of the best fights I've ever seen live.
Yeah. We've got a lot of fights coming up, so it's certainly one of the best fights we're in March, right?
Yeah.
So it's certainly one of the best
on a
fights
competitive
I've seen so far.
level.
Yeah. On the world title stage, it was definitely competitive. But yeah, the first round, I think if you look at Conlan's amateur background, world champion as an amateur, Olympian bronze medal, got robbed really against the Russian in I think it was the quarters or semi-finals. He got robbed in, so that went against him. But he's got so much amateur pedigree, as you said, that you expect him to win the early rounds. And I think going into the fight, everyone thought he'll win the early rounds, and he could win it. We said. Well,
I actually thought Conlan would probably get a late knockout. That was my final mindset.
I thought Conlan points. I thought that, and it was going that way. Looking at the fight, it was going that way, but Wood pulled it out.
Yeah,
Wood pulled it out.
But as well, what a savage knockout as well. Like everyone stopped. Obviously the crowd were going crazy, but like to fear for Conlan. He fell out the ring, maybe 6 feet on his head, and he was already unconscious.
Yeah.
Luckily, he was fine. Like, obviously, everyone, I don't know if you saw the video of him in hospital saying thank you.
I saw on his Instagram, he put a video up, then he said thank you. But I saw on his Twitter, he says, what a fight, let's roll it back.
Yeah.
Just imagine seeing that
But
again.
like, that was the brutal part of the sport that you saw, because he easily could have come off a lot worse with that knockout.
That is yeah.
You don't play boxing.
Don't play boxing. So, but you can see to the build up to it. You don't play boxing, but he took his training really seriously. He took this fight really seriously. You see how confident. What you can see before the fight is how confident both of them were going into the ring. Conlan looked like he owned that ring when they were announcing his name. Like he stood tall and proud. As soon as Wood come down the ramp, when his music was playing, he looked like he owned that ramp, didn't he?
Yeah.
So,
I thought Wood looked a little bit nervous. I thought he looked a bit nervous.
Do you think? I think that's the way he just comes across.
Yeah.
I think after the first round, what was really funny was when he got knocked down, he went back to the corner, and his coach Ben Davis said, "Keep your hands up." And he said, "Sorry, can you say that again?" Sorry.
Yeah.
Did you remember what he said?
He was gone though. You could see in his
gone.
eyes. He was just looking into nothing.
He was looking into nothing. So the amount of heart, the amount of determination, I don't know what it's something within him that he didn't quit. Mm-hmm. He just kept going, and I think the fights against Charlie Dickens, all these fights have put him in better stead for stuff like this. Whereas Conlan, he might be the pro of 3 rounds, he might be the best of the 3 rounds out of the 2 boxers, but in terms of the 12 rounds, Wood showed that he had a little bit more grit and a little bit more heart just to get through it.
But I think Conlan will be a world champion one day.
Yeah, I think, I think they've said it afterwards. I think he definitely would. But when you look at that division, featherweight division is pretty stacked.
Yeah. Well, we mentioned it previously. And did you see the post of Jordan Gill? So
yes.
They used to be roommates like however many years ago.
Yes, 10 years ago I saw that post.
Yeah, and the titles behind them. Obviously, they got every single title that you can hold as a pro.
Yeah, I think Jordan Gill's gone through all of the routes. I'm not sure how many Woods has held throughout that route, but obviously now he's world champion, so he's obviously hit the pinnacle. I know he's a regular world champion, and Santa Cruz is the super champion, but Santa Cruz hasn't fought at the division for 2 years.
So he's probably going to have to vacate soon, no?
I think he should. He should have vacated a long time ago, because his last fight, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's had 1 fight since, but he went up to lightweight against Tank. Yep. So he went up 2 divisions against Tank.
Got knocked out of a savage uppercut. Probably the best uppercut I've ever seen.
Yeah, dirty uppercut. But that was that, and then I think he's had 1 fight since then. But yeah, no, I think he should vacate the title, and that should be given to Wood. I think he proved it in his last fight.
No,
he deserves that.
You'd have to fight for it. I think.
Do you think? I think he fought for it. The Conlan fight.
Well, no, as in like they need to have a fight for the vacant belts.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah,
and obviously
fight for it, or or do something with it, give it to him, which I think he would deserve anyway. But he definitely deserves a shot at it.
And I think Conlan wins the rematch.
Do you think Conlan wins the rematch?
Well, because he's still up and coming. Yeah, he lost. He had a bad knockout, but he's going to learn so much from that loss, and I think he's gonna come back so much stronger. And obviously he's still got a great coach, but then you got to think the game plan there. Lee Woods, his legs had gone. Second round, obviously he got saved by the bell. He fully saved by the bell, and then come the second round. Most fighters, look at a hungry Anthony Joshua back in the day. He would have gone for the kill. That first 30 seconds, put it on him, cut the ring off, power shots, finish it.
He did though. Conlan, from what I saw,
he was quite reserved. He hurt
him. He hurt him again in the second round. He with that same shot, overhand right.
But he didn't put it on him. He didn't just rush him out there, and he didn't.
But Wood didn't allow him to do that. I think he was still caught. I think Wood caught him. Wood caught him as well. Credit to Wood, because you've seen Conlan's earlier fights. He's normally somebody who likes a scrap, gets in close, and loves throwing loads of shots. But he must have felt Woods' power, and then that would have kept him off, right?
But Wood's legs had gone, and Conlan's coach should have said, "Put it on him."
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
He could have got him out there in the second round if he wanted to.
I disagree. I think he still was cautious of what Wood was coming back.
And if the fight happens again, and it happens again, Conlan's going for the kill. You know that. He's not going to let it go to distance and possibly lose.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at it. You got to see if there was going to rematch. Conlan's 30 now, Wood's 33. How much has that taken out of Conlan? He's had a lot of fights in his amateur fights, a lot of fights, and this was a war. You know, this
Well,
was.
is it the first 12 rounder he's done?
I'm not sure.
I think maybe the first
I think he's
12
been
rounder.
for a few times.
I think
he's been
only
for-
10 rounds before.
Okay, so there's a
Possibly. I
big
could be
step up.
wrong. Could be wrong. But
Okay. Yeah, I'm not
championship rounds again. You know, it just shows
Championship
the
rounds.
class in Wood.
And you saw the last 3 rounds, how much they put in.
And Wood as well. Did you see? He looked better in that last round when he had that splurt of energy, when he had that confidence, when he knew he'd caught him. He looked so much stronger and fitter and game. Just from the confidence, you could just see just how the tides had changed.
Do you know what, it's so weird because you say Wood got hurt badly to the body. It was in the 10th round he got hurt badly to the body, and in the 11th round he come back stronger, and he had that knockdown of Conlan as well. Then in the 12th round he come back stronger. Mate, the mental strength, the fitness that guy must have.
It's just like you said, it resembles to the Fury Wilder fight, the first fight. It's exactly the same. You know, even when Fury got knocked down and he got back up, he won that round. So it just shows that mentality of winners, champions. Like he's a world title holder for a reason. Best fight I've seen, mate.
Best fight you've seen?
Yeah, it's up there. Definitely like top 3 live.
Have you seen Hagler Hearns?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Seen that.
and obviously the Gatti Ward trilogy.
Yeah, would you rate it higher than that?
Probably not, but still, it's like live. Obviously, Gatti Ward trilogy. I never saw that live.
Oh, okay.
I've only ever seen it
On videotapes afterwards and stuff. Yeah.
So to watch that live zoned in, it's up there with AJ Klitschko. It's up there with the Fury Wilder fight, the first fight.
All 3 Fury Wilder fights were epic, weren't they? All
Yeah.
3, especially that last one they had, the 3rd one. That
Yeah.
was pretty epic.
Yeah, I agree.
But no, I think overall, for me, I think, as I said at the start of this, I think both of them are true warriors, proud men. Like Conlan's represented Ireland with pride. You can see that, and Wood has represented his town, his country with pride as well.
Yeah.
And they both didn't want to give anything away
And
during that fight.
wars like that, they both win. Regardless, he's
That's
not
what-
world champion.
Yeah.
But you look at history of champions and history of contenders. Like Conlan now is going to be in the history books for a hell of a war, showing his heart, showing his determination, showing, you know, it's amazing. Even though he lost, he didn't lose. In my eyes, you know, like what he did is just it's unreal. Like.
The heart that he showed as well to get through it was pretty epic. But Wood obviously had that little bit. I think what was the difference was the experience. I believe is that Wood has done 12 rounds. He's been through these tough battles against Dickens and all these other fighters that he's come through. Whereas whereas Conlan, as I said, his main experience has come from the amateurs. His tough fights have come from the amateurs, and that's 3-minute rounds, the majority of them. So there's that sort of experience. He's had tough fights in the pros, no doubt, and he's had quite wide exposure. Like, do you remember when his first pro fight, Conor McGregor walked him out? So he's had loads of exposure, so he's used to that. But I think just that experience would just handle. And you're right. He's got that experience now. Could he come back stronger against the rematch against Wood? Who knows?
So rematch. How can he win the rematch?
First of all, I just want to reiterate what you said is both of them, in my mind, came out winners. I think, that out of a fight like this where it's so close and so epic, they're both winners in my eyes. But referring to the point you said, the rematch, who wins?
Well, I think if Conlan, things to change. Obviously, if he hurts Lee Wood like that again, my opinion, put it on him. And what he started to do was, even though he was landing those big shots, he was only really landing those single big shots at the end of the rounds, like the last 30 seconds. You saw Conlan sort of win the exchanges after Wood would have his go. So I would definitely say Conlan needs to just not load up on his punches, but start winning the rounds more convincingly. I think stop loading up on your punches, set up the punch. So obviously he was throwing that loop in left hand. He wasn't even getting a jab to get in. He was just sort of hitting and hoping. Even though it was good for the first 4 rounds, when they rematch, he's not going to be able to do that again. Lee Wood and Ben Davison are going to make sure that he doesn't get caught with that shot again. I think Conlan, don't load up on his shots. He needs to really set up his shots. And, his body work was amazing. Work on that. Do it early. Hurt Lee early. in the body, and that's it, mate. You know, break his body, and then.
I think he did break his body. I mean, that's a valid point. Break
But
his
he
body
didn't do it
down.
early. He did it in round 10. Imagine if he'd done that in round 2.
Yeah. He would see from what I remember, he was hitting him to the body early on as well, breaking it down. But Wood was breaking him down as well to the body. I think Wood was more effective to the body than Conlan, and that obviously helped in tiring him out. But get into the rematch, I think Conlan needs to. He's got that experience of fighting a tough 12 round now. He just needs to hold that and try and get rid of the mental demons that would have been in his head now. Try and remove that. Is when you go for a tough bout against someone and you get knocked out, you've got to have demons in the back of your mind, right? So it's putting that to the back of mind and just boxing. Boxing is what got him to the stage that he got into boxing, was to box, right?
But how does he beat Wood? What does he have to do in the rematch?
Keep it. I think he's a little bit shorter as well than Wood. He has to be smarter with his feet, in and out. Combos in and out. And he doesn't want to get into a wall. And he does. One thing that you saw of him, he's backed up on the ropes a lot.
Yeah,
And he's getting shot. He's getting loads of punches at him. And the corner was saying, "Don't get involved in the ropes." Because he needs to keep it in the middle.
Yeah,
he's a boxer,
and he was winning the exchanges, some exchanges on the ropes. But in everyone else's eyes, he's on the ropes. Like
I think it was the pressure.
Yeah,
of being on the ropes. That takes a toll on you, not just physically but mentally as well.
Just dominate centre ring,
control it from the centre of the ring. So instead of going back, circle round, use your feet, hit and move round to the side. You know, keep going round. The best example I can give you of that is Golovkin with Canelo, where Canelo was coming on strong, but Golovkin, instead of going back, he was using his feet, pivoting his feet to create other angles. So instead of going straight back, it was moved to the side.
Well, yeah, what he'd do is he would take one step back and then he would move.
Yeah.
So like a lot of people, like 1 or 2 steps, still not far away from the ropes, and then laterally move.
Exactly. So he basically what he did, he created like a small ring inside of the ring. So it knew that he couldn't get out of this box. So that's what I would say to Conlan. He would have done all this in the amateurs. I've done it all in the amateurs, where you're not allowed to get out of this box. You have to stay in there. So that's the sort of work that he needs to do, is keep it long, and keep it, you know, sharp shots, sharp combinations in and out. And I think that's the basis. And Wood just needs to, you know, he's got to be on a high. He's got to feel 100 times confident that he can get through Conlan's punches. So he's got to be, but he's got to be a bit more confident now because he's done it.
And he's got to be a lot more careful. Wood's got to come back with a game plan, and he can't let that overhand left catch, because again he'll be out cold next time possibly.
Possibly, yeah. Conlan might not let him off, as you said.
Yeah.
And it might not be so late on in the round. It might be quite a minute in the round.
Yeah, exactly.
And he can't be caught like that again. So no, but I think, as you said, credit to both fighters. If it does happen a rematch, I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm sure we'll both go down there.
Oh, definitely.
Wherever it is.
The atmosphere there, I think they said it's the first time they've actually had a boxing show there.
In Nottingham?
Yeah, maybe.
No, it was Cole Froch boxed there before.
Oh, okay. But
that's why he was on the commentary. He had boxed there I can't remember when he boxed there, but he had boxed there before.
Didn't he also box at Wembley?
Oh, I think so. 80,000?
Yeah, 80,000, yeah.
He'd never forget that, wouldn't he? I'm glad Anthony Joshua did him on that, didn't he? 90,000.
Yeah.
And now Tyson Fury talking about 100,000.
Yeah.
Going on to Tyson Fury. Shall we move on to Tyson Fury? About his...
Fury Whyte, obviously...
We haven't talked about the press conference and stuff, have we?
Whyte didn't turn up. Yeah, obviously, if every professional decided to just not do that, we wouldn't have professional boxing. It's not good, but then also Whyte doesn't want mind games. He's just focusing on himself.
Do you think it's mind games?
If you're fighting Tyson Fury, there's mind games. That's
from Tyson Fury.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And from Dillian White's point of view, there must be some mind games before, and also obviously Frank Warren's not happy of all of it going on, and I'm guessing Dillian Whyte doesn't really like Frank Warren anyway.
No, he calls him fish eyes and stuff like that, doesn't he?
So you know, I think he's just in his own lane doing his thing, but it's not really it's not classy, you know. If obviously it's going to sell, it's going to be good, but you want to see Dillian Whyte there. You want to see the press conferences,
especially those two.
Yeah,
I think first of all, if that press conference would have happened, that would have been explosive.
Did you see?
I would have loved to see that press conference.
Did you see Fury doing the face off?
Yeah,
just
against that. He's brilliant, isn't he? I think he's such a character.
Yeah.
He's so good for boxing as well, and what he's come back from his struggles and how he's been open about it has just been brilliant for boxing. Because loads more people have actually come out and spoken about mental health problems, right? Not just in boxing, but outside of boxing.
Yeah.
So he's transcended. He's shown that as a champion, you can come and talk about whatever problems you've got.
Yeah.
So fair play to him to that. Big character. You know, it's homecoming. 90,000 people going to be at Wembley, which I'm still surprised that he's been that popular though.
Yeah.
So 90,000 tickets.
Because also Fury's not boxed in England in however many years anyway.
3-4 years, I think.
Yeah. So it's been a while, and now I'm going to ask, how does Whyte win the fight against Fury, and how would Fury beat Whyte?
But just before
What's
we
the
go
game
into that,
plan?
I just wanted to touch upon that. Do you think Whyte hasn't turned up because it's because of money, or do you reckon it's because he's playing mind games?
No
'Cause
one
I'm quite
knows.
interested.
No one knows but Whyte. There's probably a mixture of reasons, and he's just.
But what do you think it
He's
is?
in Portugal anyway, and he's asked that if they want him there, they got to fly him on a plane or whatever.
Private jet, yeah. And apparently that was last minute request. No, that's what Frank Warren said at last minute. We'll give you that. But
Mixture of reasons.
Mixture of reasons.
I'm just excited for the fight.
There's loads of rubbish that goes on that side of it, isn't
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
If you can minus all that, looking forward to the fight. I would have loved to see the press conference because it helps build up a fight.
There'll be press conferences near the time.
I think there's only one in there. The
Yeah.
week before there'd be a press conference.
They'll still have obviously the weigh in and everything else. So we are going to see some entertainment before.
Hope so, because that would help me convince that do you know what, it's going to sell out.
Tyson Fury would sell out if he just turned up anyway. If he turned up and sung, like as he does it after he wins a fight,
Yeah,
and sometimes
yeah.
have a little sing. 90,000 people would go there to pay to see him sing. When you think about it,
How many fighters do that? Not many.
not many. No, you got to have some big balls to just.
Would you sing after a fight?
Oh, but yeah. Well, yeah, on my own when I'm concussed in the shower. I wouldn't be.
How about in the ring? Would you ever after a fight? Right? Have you ever thought about doing it?
Oh, definitely not. Mate. That's the last thing I'll be thinking of. But yeah, how does Fury win the fight? How does he beat Whyte?
Fury beats Whyte by being Fury. And I know that sounds pretty,
Cliche.
but he just being awkward.
Because we've seen different types of Fury. Is he going to be nice, light moving on his toes, sort of jabbing and moving, just outboxing him with his reach? Or is he going to do the Kronk style again?
Yep, I think, just touching upon what you said, I think we'll see the old Fury. I don't want to say boring, but the Tyson Fury that I saw against Klitschko. Tyson Fury that we saw against Hammer. The sort of keep it long, southpaw, switching, hitting, moving. I think we'll see someone like that. If he does do the Kronk style against someone like Dillian Whyte, he's given Dillian Whyte a chance to win the fight. It's if you imagine Dillian Whyte 6'3", 250 pounds. Tyson Fury 6'9", 270 pounds. Just gonna keep it. He's just gonna keep it long. Just keep it long and make it. I think it could be a boring fight. Personally, I think it's not going to be the most entertaining fight, should I say? But it's going to be a fight that Fury. No one can beat Fury but Fury, as they say. And I think it's one of those fights. I'm a big fan of Dillian Whyte. I think he's good. I think he's great, and on his night he can beat any heavyweight.
How does Dillian Whyte beat Fury?
He's going to make it into a fight. He's going to drag. Yeah, he's going to. Well, Tyson Fury's been a pro since 18.
But how does Dillian Whyte beat Fury?
He has to, as I said, drag him into a fight. He has to get him into a fight, and he has to make him vulnerable and get him off his game, and then set him up for that big left hook that he likes throwing.
Yeah.
That is caught. Who did he catch with that left hook?
AJ,
remember that? AJ.
Yeah.
He caught Joe Parker with it as well. That dropped him. He caught that Australian guy. Chisora. Who's the Australian guy you fought?
Lucas Daddy Brown.
That's it. He got a dirty knockout against Lucas Brown.
Good.
Yeah, good. That's what he's going to do. He's going to turn it into his fight by making it dirty, but getting into his face and really going. The one thing you've seen of both fighters actually is the evolution of their fighting. Like, if you see Dillian Whyte against AJ, he was like a brawler, just getting in there, throwing wild shots. Now you see him, when you saw him against Chisora, especially the second one, he's a lot more controlled. He hurt him in the first round, but he took his time, and he eventually knocked him out in the 11th. And then you saw against Joe Parker, more controlled performance, so his experience is going up.
Yeah.
So I think it's a lot more dangerous fight than what people say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's too early to give a prediction at the moment.
Yeah.
But that's the way I see it. How about yourself? How do you see it?
So Fury, of course, like you said, keep it long, but I think we're going to see a Fury that is going to do both. He's going to switch it up. I think now, as you said, he's evolved as a fighter. Obviously, styles make fights. Deontay Wilder, he had to be smothered to get rid of that big right hand. But if you smother someone like Dillian Whyte, he's going to be fighting on the inside, no problem. He's going to be throwing shots to the back of the head, low blows. He's going to be dirty. He's going to be throwing big body shots, big left hooks. So I think he'll be doing both. I think Fury, you'll see him probably box a move early, pick him apart, just play with him. Start making Whyte actually miss and doubt himself. Whyte's got quite a sloppy jab. I feel like if Fury,
White's got a sloppy jab.
well, that's how he got knocked out by Povetkin.
Yeah, that time he had a sloppy jab, but
Yeah.
it's
very slow. It's very slow. Look at other heavyweights' jabs.
I think I'm going to disagree with that.
That's the one thing I know that I don't like about Dillian. It's his jab that he throws. Someone like Tyson Fury would be way quicker. Fury will be beating him to the jab, and he'll just be picking him apart.
Yeah. He's got a fight. I would say Tyson Fury's got the better jab.
Compare the jabs.
Yeah,
compare it in the fight. Fury's going to have much faster straight shots.
Yeah.
And I think do that, but also rough him up when you get a chance. When Whyte finally gets in, have your gloves up and do a bit of inside work as well. So obviously, if he starts leaning on Dillian when Dillian gets tired, because we all know that Dillian does gas.
He has shown that.
As soon as he starts leaning on him, have the little tactics, then he can start working and start doing the Kronk style and start really loading up on punches. So I think Fury could win that way, but also Dillian Whyte, like you said, he needs to throw a lot of feints. He needs to get in there. He needs to land his shots, and he needs to get out and exit safely. Because at the end of the day, if he's exiting with his chin in the air or doing anything silly, schoolboy stuff, but obviously at that level, when you're fatigued and you're that big, it's very easy to land a lovely shot and just lean back. Where someone like Fury will take that shot and he'll give you two.
Who do you think's come through the tougher fights? Obviously, this is just speaking. White's got a good CV. Joseph Parker, Chisora, Big Daddy, whatever his name is, Lucas Brown,
AJ,
Povetkin, AJ.
That's 5 top 10 fighters.
Do you see what I mean? And then if I look at Tyson Fury, not taking anything away from him, his biggest victories are Klitschko
and
Deontay Wilder, and he's fought Deontay Wilder 3 times. And he's fought Chisora as well early on.
He unlocked the key to beating Deontay Wilder, but how's he going to go against someone like a really rough and ragged?
Don't forget as well, Dillian Whyte was calling out Deontay Wilder for a long time, even before Tyson Fury. When Tyson Fury was going through his mental health problems, Dillian Whyte was still calling him out. But Deontay Wilder never gave him that shot. Did Deontay Wilder see something dangerous in Dillian Whyte not to give him that fight?
Well, that's a reason why he's been mandatory for 3 years.
Because he didn't want to give him a fight.
Yeah.
Fair play to Tyson Fury though. He
Yeah.
didn't have to take this fight. He could have done what all the other champions have done, is weaved Dillian Whyte. But he says, do you know what? I'm taking him on. I know I can beat him. I'm taking him on.
But you look at Fury's mind, and there's no reason. If we put a poll up right now, who wins, Fury or Whyte? The majority of people are going to say Tyson Fury. When you just look at the size advantage, it does matter. The extra 30, 40 pounds that you might have in a fight, let's say it's an extra 15 kilos, that's huge.
I think people are saying it by name as well. Like if we put up a poll, Tyson Fury or Dillian Whyte, everyone's heard of Tyson Fury, like what he's done in his career and what he's done in his last few fights. They'll just vote for Fury, but we know it's not as close. We know it's actually a lot closer than what people think.
Well, just because styles make fights, and there's no reason why Dillian Whyte couldn't catch Fury. As we've said, Fury's been dropped in the past by a cruiserweight. Yep. He has had,
Cunningham, yep.
he has had some problems, obviously with Wilder taking some power, like anyone would. But they are heavyweights, and there's no reason why Dillian Whyte couldn't land that nice left hook. And if he does, what's the chances that Fury's got a very good recovery rate? If Whyte does get through, and Fury does get back up, we do know that he can bounce back. Yeah. But with someone like Dillian Whyte, when he does get rocked, it's sort of over there and then. And
then you also got to look at what Tyson Fury has in his toolbox. If you look at one shot that stands out from Dillian Whyte, you said the left hook. You said a left hook is a shot that stands out. But if you look at Tyson Fury, he's got the rear hand. He dropped Dillian Whyte with his jab. He's got such a long
Deontay
reach.
Wilder.
Sorry, Deontay Wilder. Such a long, beautiful jab. Such a fast jab.
Mm-hmm.
He's got so much more in the toolbox, and that's why I think it's Tyson Fury's to lose.
Yeah. I think on paper, if I was to put it in percentages, 80% Fury wins, 20%.
You reckon? I think it's
Yeah.
a lot closer. I think it's 60-40.
Okay.
I think Dillian White is a dangerous man. He's been waiting for this opportunity for a long time. He's hungry.
Look at Fury's IQ. His ring IQ and he is right now the best heavyweight in the world, and he has been for quite a while.
Just going on from that, did you see on the press conference his dad, John Fury, with Cole Frampton? Did you see that bit?
Oh yeah, they had a few words, didn't they?
Yeah, mate, he proper had a go at him, didn't he?
Yeah, but who's he not had a go at?
Yeah, and do you know why that was over?
No.
Because Carl Frampton said that his son Tommy Fury would lose against Jake Paul. He gave his opinion.
Yeah.
And then John Fury was like, "Who do you think you are, thinking Fury could lose to Jake Paul and all this stuff?" And for Carl Frampton was like, "I'm just giving my opinion," which is fair enough. He's giving his opinion. There's no harm, like we're giving our opinion here. There's no harm in giving your opinion. But he got quite a lot of stick from that as well.
So, and Anthony Joshua coming up, obviously looking for an opponent.
Yeah, obviously you've had Usyk, his situation with what's happening over in Ukraine. It may not potentially be his next opponent. As we said, our thoughts go out to everyone in Ukraine about what the situation is going on there. But AJ needs to carry on. His career needs to carry on.
So who's next? Obviously, there's a list of opponents.
Yeah.
What do you think's the best?
So you've got list of opponents. You've got Charles Martin has potentially been offered. I think we both agree after the first fight that shouldn't be there, but he's a potential opponent. You've also got Otto Wallin.
Yeah.
You've got Joe Joyce.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've got
Luis Ortiz.
So they're the four that come to mind. Have I missed anyone?
That's it, really. They're the main ones. Obviously, unless he starts rematching guys. Povetkin's retired.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say out of all of those, the high risk, low reward would be Joe Joyce. I know there's sparring clips and they've trained together for, like a decade.
They'll be going back and forth on social media as well. Have you seen that?
Yeah. But like with Joe Joyce, he is a machine and he has grown as a pro that Anthony Joshua's not seen. And Anthony Joshua obviously has been caught at big shots and he has changed his style. So I think Joe Joyce is a big, tough test. If he takes it, hats off to Anthony Joshua, because in my eyes, that's the hardest fight he could take currently.
Out of all the guys.
Luis Ortiz, I'd love to see because he's still dangerous. Even at he 40 now?
Apparently.
40. Right, no one knows his age.
Knows his age.
Big old question mark on BoxRec. But again, Luis Ortiz, he's dangerous, and we could see how Anthony Joshua, if he was to fight him, would compare it to how Deontay Wilder fought Luis Ortiz 2 years ago. Their second fight was only 2 years ago.
Sorry, I'm talking about Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz.
Their rematch was 2 years ago.
So when was the first Wilder Fury fight?
That was 3 years ago. So it was Luis Ortiz was after that fight.
Oh, was he after the fight?
Yeah, because it was a rematch.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
But yeah, again, you see what Wilder did. Luis Ortiz was outboxing Deontay Wilder, and then he landed a freakish right hand in like the 7th or 8th round, and it was lights out. So I think if we saw Anthony Joshua against Luis Ortiz, we'd want to see him beat Luis Ortiz in a better way, because that's how everyone obviously compares with opponents. But yeah, I'd say those two are the most exciting that I'd pick. I think Charles Martin, I wouldn't even mention his name. He's a stepping stone for guys that want to be top 20. That's what he should be. He should not be what a 2-time world champion should be fighting. He's a tune-up fight for someone up and coming. To be honest, Charles Martin should fight the likes of like Daniel Dubois. I think Daniel Dubois should get a good win over him and get his name back in the top 10.
Yeah.
Because he's still only 24.
I think he's got a fight against Trevor Booking coming up. Trevor Booking. So I think there's a purse bid going on this week between those two.
Yeah.
Between Dubois and Trevor Booking, and that'll make him mandatory for a world title.
Oh wow!
So that it
that's
shows
fast.
That's a very fast progression, considering about a year or two ago he lost to Joe Joyce.
But also he was Frank Warren's cash cow. Until that happened, and obviously that threw a spanner in the works. But
He's only young. He's only like 23, I think.
24, yeah.
He's 24, so he's only a baby still.
When you see him, you wouldn't think. But I think he shouldn't even be shooting for a world title yet because he's got so much to learn. As good as Dubois is, he could be a world champion.
Yeah, I hope with
don't
that,
rush him.
Yeah, I hope it's not another. Who's the other boxer that Frank Warren brought through? The one he fought.
What, heavyweight? Nathan Gorman?
No, the light heavyweight. Who fought Kovalev?
Oh, Anthony Yard.
Yeah,
Lions
in the camp. Yeah, I think that was a little bit too early for him as well, and that showed, I think.
Yeah, so obviously Anthony Yard taking that big step up, like he should have boxed more at the domestic scene. He should have took on like that Josh Boazzi super fight in England. I know obviously it would have been tough with one of their O's going, but for him to go to the world level from fighting taxi drivers, you know, you need more of a stepping stone.
Yeah, even European level, you know, and then fringe world title level, you could have had a few more of those fights. But he had the world title option, and I think he took that, which is fair enough. But you know, back to the heavyweights, Dubois, I think you're right. It'd be interesting to see his development after this.
Take his time. Don't rush him. He shouldn't be. Yeah.
Heavyweights take time to develop.
And I guess obviously if you're looking on Dillian White's behalf, it took him 3 years to get his title shot. So if Daniel Dubois wins his next fight, gets his mandatory, he can have 3 years anyway of working his way up, possibly beating Joe Joyce on a rematch when Joyce is, you know, a little bit too old.
Do you know how Joe Joyce is?
Was he 36?
I think he's 36. Yeah, 36.
So you know,
he's still a machine.
Let's say he fights Joe Joyce when he's knocking on the door at 40 and he's got grandkids. Then he can avenge his loss.
He'll still be like that machine. Do you know what? I remember seeing Joe Joyce in one of the championships.
What, in person?
In person, and this was about 10 years ago. And he's a lot younger, but he actually looks like a, you know, no disrespect, but he looks like a robot. So you just look at him move, like, oh my god.
And he boxes like a robot.
And he boxes like that as well. And I remember Greg, our heavyweight, I was like, Greg, you're boxing this guy. He's like, I don't care. But inside he's like, shit, this guy, I'm boxing this guy. So, yeah, man, he's an absolute unit, and he won the Harringay Cup that year as well. I was watching him.
Yeah, and Joe Joyce is the perfect example for just like, do you know when you see someone throw a punch and it doesn't look like it's even effective?
It's weird, isn't he?
And then a round later, the bloke's got, you know, like a broken eye socket again. You know, he batters them. He doesn't just beat. It's like they've been hit by a train.
Yeah. I think what stands him out is his non-stop energy, like his engine.
Yeah,
he just non-stop punching. I mean, do you remember that?
Heavy-handed, and he's got a chin. He's got the best chin in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, I can't disagree. I've seen him take some big shots, and he just keeps coming forward. But then again, if you go back to one of his Anthony Joshua's opponents, Anthony Joshua's saying that he beat him in the amateurs in the first round.
Yeah, but so you can't compare it to now. Yeah, it's completely different.
Yeah, you can't compare. And he was a novice then, wasn't he?
And when we compare AJ now, obviously he's stuck between styles. He's trying to learn boxing, but his old rough, ragged, you know, knockout style. Even though he's in between all of this right now, with Joe Joyce, that's the perfect person for him to show his boxing ability. Because Joe Joyce, he's very straight, very come forward. So I feel like AJ to outbox Joe Joyce would be the smartest move if he fights him.
I think you're right. Potentially, you're right. But Joe Joyce, let's not forget, he's a silver medalist at the Olympics, and he should have been a gold medalist at the Olympics. He got robbed against in the final against that French guy, Tony Hawks, whatever his name is.
But there's levels, and AJ, he's in my eyes, he's boxing ability so much better than Joyce. You see the sparring footage that you want to, obviously you're talking about back in the day.
The fight, no, his actual fight.
Yeah, or no, even the sparring footage.
Oh, I've not seen,
like at Team GB, I saw some today. Joyce was just getting pieced. AJ was boxing and moving. He threw every punch in the book. He looked nice and smooth. So I do feel like that's how he would have to fight him. AJ wouldn't be able to rough him up and knock him out.
But AJ has shown to fatigue towards the end of fights.
Yeah, very true.
Whereas Joe Joyce has come on strong, so it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see that sort of that unfold. But that's a fight that on top of my list.
That's what I want to see.
That's my number one.
Anthony Joshua, Joe Joyce. Make it happen.
But I think what will happen, I think Anthony Joshua will fight a southpaw next, but just because of he knows he has to fight Usyk for the other titles.
Well, it's got to be Luis Ortiz then.
It's got to be Luis Ortiz, Otto Wallin. Charles Martin are the three sort of picks that we're saying. But let's cut out Charles Martin because I think we both agree we don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Lewis Ortiz, potentially, big fight. And he got offered the fight before, but apparently he didn't take it. Otto Wallin, I know he's always game, but after his last fight, where he performed really poor.
Anthony Joshua struggles with smaller men. We were saying it off air. You see him in any fight with smaller guy. Povetkin pieced him up in a few rounds. You know, he landed
one round he caught him. Yeah, he caught him with that left hook at the end.
The right hand left hook.
Yeah.
He landed it over probably about 3-4 rounds.
Oh, okay, I remember one.
But yeah, so Povetkin, obviously smaller man, did that. Carlos Takam was outboxing Anthony Joshua and beating him up without all the commentary, all the biasness that night. Carlos Takam was doing the better work.
Do you think?
Yeah, I and obviously I think AJ's great, but you've got to be realistic. He struggles with smaller guys, and Otto Wallin also busted up Fury. I know he obviously had a bad fight previously, but he's actually a danger. Those small heavyweights, you know, they are dangerous. So I think. But
Otto Wallin's not a small heavyweight. Otto Wallin's 6'5".
But I guess comparing him to the likes of Tyson Fury, but yeah,
yeah, 6'9", but he's 6'5", Otto Wallin. Anthony Joshua's 6'6".
Usyk's what, 6'1", 6'2"?
Usyk is 6'3".
6'3".
Yeah, so he's 6'3". So you know, similar sizes, similar sort of body things, but Otto Wallin looks like he doesn't carry the same sort of power as someone like Joshua. You see his punch power.
He looks physically smaller against any big heavyweight.
Yeah, he looks good, standard, basic sort of boxing. But you compare him to someone like Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury or Usyk, even doesn't come close to him. I would say even Dillian Whyte. You wouldn't put him in. You know, that would be, and obviously Dillian Whyte pulled out of that fight, didn't he?
Well, yeah, he had lots of problems, didn't he, going on? They said he didn't pass his drug test, but then the B sample was clean, so it was wrong.
Against Otto Wallin.
Oh, okay, that was who was that against?
That was you're talking about
2 years out.
You're talking about the Colombian boxer.
Okay, yeah. Well, obviously during that time, that was tough for Dillian Whyte mentally. Yeah. He put on a lot of weight. He was, you know.
Oh, did he after? Okay.
Yeah. It was so sad to see because he wasn't a cheat. He didn't take. It's been proven that he didn't take any performance enhancement drugs. Everyone was commenting the needle stuff on all of his social media pages. He was ridiculed out of boxing. Just like all of a sudden, like Dillian Whyte is a cheat. And yeah, that was tough. But lastly, Mikey McKinson.
Yes, fighting this Saturday.
So it'll be tomorrow when this airs.
Yeah. So what are you thinking, man? What are you thinking?
Well, obviously we had a good chat with Mikey.
A few weeks back. Yep.
Virgil Ortiz, everyone knows, knockout artist, 100% knockout ratio. He is a killer. But saying that, he's never fought anyone that's got an undefeated record. Mikey is a very awkward southpaw. He's a right-handed southpaw, so he's got a very strong lead hand. His footwork is so awkward, from what I've seen, so awkward. And if he boxes perfectly and goes the distance, which he's used to doing, Ortiz has never gone the distance. If he doesn't get robbed out there by the judges, there's no reason why Mikey can't put on a boxing masterclass and win it. He said he's had a good camp. He's in great shape. You know, he's had a long camp. He's as fit as they come. He's going to go 12 rounds easy. It's just, can he take Virgil Ortiz's biggest punches? Because they are going to come. And that's unknown to date. But again, Mikey, even with he's only had a few knockouts in his career, but he has dropped quite a few guys. And he has got that power to make sure Virgil Ortiz isn't too aggressive. You know, he has got enough power to make sure that he doesn't get dominated and that he can have a chance in the fight. So I think if he boxes how he always boxes, I do think Mikey can win it. And I mean that not just because we've been talking with him. I fully think he can outbox him.
Interesting. Yep. I think it's good. It's definitely a big fight, tough fight. Everything's against him. Let's be right against him. He's fighting on a rival show. Golden Boy he's boxing on. He's boxing on away soil. He's boxing the home favourite boxer as well.
Who's the judges? That's what we need to know. Who's the judges? So
he's got all these. Yeah, so we don't know until the fight. I don't know who the judges are, but we don't know all this. He's got all this stuff going in against him, and he's fought in front of a crowd against him before. He's fought on other rival shows, so he's done all this before.
Always been the underdog.
But not on this scale. He's always been it, but not on this scale. So he has to show and which he always does in his fight. He has to show a little bit more, but now he has to show a lot more.
But I think as well, he's gotten better when he's had the better opponents. Imagine being in Mikey's shoes, the fear of going against someone that is natural. You know, you could be the best boxer in the world, you're going to have that fear. The fear of going against someone with a 100% knockout ratio, knowing that he can hurt you at any point, is going to bring your A game.
He's certainly going to bring his A game. That's one thing I know about Mikey, is he's always fight ready. He's always game for a fight. So he's got to be fight ready. He's got to go in there confident. One thing I would say about knowing Mikey from when I knew him is he has to keep switched on for the whole fight. He can't afford to lose his concentration or get angry or get emotional in the ring.
Yeah.
He has to stay focused for the whole time. And I'm sure his corner's told him this, his team's told him this, but from what I've known is that's what he needs to do. If he can do that, then, you know, he can certainly cause the big upset.
So how can Mikey beat Ortiz? Because Ortiz is a heavy favourite.
Yeah, so Ortiz, we know what Ortiz brings. He brings good boxing skills and he brings power.
He's fast, he's powerful.
And I've spoken to a few people out there that I know from LA. They're saying he's looking sharp. Mm-hmm. He's looking sharp, he's looking strong, and he's looking ready.
Well, you're never going to hear, it looks a bit sluggish, he's had an off day.
No, but I mean, if we talk about... I've asked people out there, like, how has it affected him changing 2 or 3 trainers in this camp?
Let's talk about that, because that is, even though they're saying he looks sharp, he's changed camp with different coaches.
So
twice.
First of all, he had Robert Garcia. Robert Garcia said they had a falling out because he didn't have time for him. I don't think they had a falling out, but they said he didn't go to one of his last fight, and he had his second coach come in. They weren't happy with that. They went to Eddie Reynoso, Canelo's coach. Canelo's coach looked at his schedule, didn't have time.
Too busy. They
went to someone's third coach, who I can't remember the coach's name, the one who coached Andy Ruiz.
Yeah, I know who you're on about, but yeah.
Andy Ruiz coach. So now he's coaching with him. So, but people who are out there saying that, you know, he looks in positive mood, he looks ready for the fight, he looks primed. So, you know, it'd be interesting. It'd be an interesting fight. How Mikey wins the fight, going back to what you questioned before, Mikey has to be awkward. He has to frustrate Ortiz. He has to do what he does best. He
has to win the early rounds.
He has to do similarly what Tyson Fury did to Deontay Wilder in the fight. In the first fight, I would say, is where he frustrated him.
But Fury got robbed on decision. So when you're saying this now, Mikey needs to win these rounds convincingly. He can't just go there and have a nice boxing masterclass, but it'd be close. He needs to win these rounds. Like, let's say the first sort of 4 or 5, he needs to have them in the bank. That's sorry, you carry on talking.
No.
I think he needs to convincingly beat him.
Okay.
Just to even get his chance at winning on decision.
Yeah, I think he needs to convincingly, but you're right. He needs to convincingly beat him, but you can only do so much. You can't go in there and expect the judges that judges are going to go against you. You have to go in there.
You do if you're going to America.
You do. I mean, you have to make sure you win the fight. But I'm saying, like, you can't put yourself at risk by taking extra risk where you can get knocked out. So let's not forget, if he takes that one extra punch, he could potentially get caught himself.
But that's the risk he has to take to win this, because he's knocking on. Whoever wins this is knocking at the door for a world title.
Yeah. Whoever wins this, if Mikey McKinson can win this, whatever he's earning now, fair play to him, he deserves it. But he'd be on to millions after this, which is, you know,
what he deserves.
Which he deserves. He's put in all the work throughout the years, through all the losses that he suffered as an amateur. You know, not winning the national titles, whatever. For him to still carry on through all the setbacks that we had. Do you remember we had on the podcast all the setbacks? It shows you that true grit, true hard work can get you to the top of the level, and he's there now. And as we said, he has to be awkward. He has to stick to the game plan.
Yeah.
Take emotions out of it. Don't let the crowd affect you if you can. You know, stay focused on your game, and you know he can certainly do it. He can certainly pull it off.
I think he should definitely. Of course, it's, you know, a cliche thing to say, but he should definitely work the body, and he needs to break Ortiz down so Ortiz can't hurt him. He needs to beat him convincingly, not just for the judges, but he needs to beat down Ortiz to make sure Ortiz doesn't beat him. Like, it's as simple as that. He's got the first half of the fight to make sure Ortiz isn't confident. If you've got a confident Ortiz that's, he knows, he only knows how to knock people out. If he's going to go in there confident and he's having his way, Mikey's got to knock that out of him somehow.
So let's...
not just for the judges.
Not just for the judges. So let's look at predictions. Let's both predict.
Yeah.
Let's see what we get. So I'm asking you, Ashley. Michael McKinson, Virgil Ortiz. Who you got?
Well, I think if there's no robbery and Mikey does the business like we think he will, I think he will. Unanimous decision win. I think he can definitely win. He can win the early start of the fight. If he can stick to the game plan and he can overcome whatever Ortiz throws at him, I think he can win. Decision.
Nice.
What about you?
It's tough. I've known Mikey for a long time, so my one might come a bit biased. But I would have to say Mikey McKinson points as well. I think he's going to... I can see... It's tough. I can see Virgil Ortiz winning it, just because of all the advantages that he got on his side. But again, I can see Mikey McKinson really being switched on for this fight. Really being awkward, really showing all of his pluses in this fight. Because Virgil Ortiz has never been... He's had a few tough fights, but he's never been tested like this.
And he's never been the distance.
He's never been the distance. He could have that same mentality that Deontay Wilder has, like I'm gonna knock him out, but that eventually drains you. When you notice that you can't hit your opponent, it drains you.
Yeah.
It takes away your confidence. And I can see Mikey doing that to Virgil Ortiz. So I'm gonna Mikey McKinson on points.
Let's just hope that whoever wins on the night, if it is a decision, let's hope that the judges... the best man wins and the judges do it properly.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of robberies lately.
We're sick of it.
And it's really tarnishing the sport. And we just hope that the judges do the right thing, everyone does the right thing, and it turns into a great fight.
Brilliant. Well, thank you everyone for listening. Please like, comment, share and subscribe.
Thank you very much, guys, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one. Cheers.